Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. I am Shivam from AutoWired. If you want to learn JS and build cool things, you are at right place. We upload videos in every 2 days, which gives you time to practice what you have learned in between. Follow along with us to be a JS pro. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you like the content. So let's start. So this course is for beginners. So if you don't know anything about JavaScript, that should be fine. We'll start from the very basic and go ahead. So what are the prerequisites of this course is a basic understanding of coding. So we are assuming that you have basic understanding of coding. That means you know what for, if, logical conditional statements are in coding language. And yeah, that should be it. You should be good to learn JavaScript. Even if you don't know the basic understanding of coding, we'll try to cover that too in this. So what is JavaScript? So JavaScript is a client-side scripting language. What do you mean by client-side scripting language? So the name itself suggests client-side. So whatever you write code in JavaScript, that's going to run on the client machine, right? So it is mainly used for enhancing the interaction of a user with the web page. In other words, you can make your web page more lively and interactive with the help of JavaScript, right? JavaScript can also be used for game development, mobile application development. We'll discuss that too going further. Now, being a scripting language, JavaScript cannot run on its own, right? So browser will be the one who will be responsible for running JavaScript code, right? So a lot of people might get a question, isn't JavaScript related to Java, right? Because in both the names we have Java, while to be honest, that's not the case. So JavaScript is totally unrelated to Java. Java is a very complex programming language, while JavaScript is a scripting language. We'll discuss further we'll discuss it while going further, and we'll point out what are the difference between JavaScript and Java whenever we face that. To start with this, you'll need certain tools to start with JavaScript development. So what all you need for JavaScript development is a text editor. You can choose anything, either Atom, Sublime, VS Code, Notepad++, whatever suits you. I use VS Code, so I'm going to suggest the extension what I use. These are very helpful extensions and make the development process very fast. So the first one is ESLint. If you don't know what ESLint is, so ES is called ECMAScript, which is standardization of JavaScript codes, right? So it's basically related to coding standards of JavaScript. So ESLint is a tool which will help you to do the JavaScript coding in a standard way, right? We'll see when we'll start developing. Prettier code formatter, so it's responsible for make your code look good. So it takes care of the indentation, spaces, and formatting everything. Live server is something which we use. So a live server is something which you will use to run your websites without running refresh all the time. So it will like reload, refresh automatically. And then there's something I always use is HTML boilerplate. It saves me a lot of time when I'm starting a new project, because yeah, we'll see that. So let's see all these extensions, right? So this is VS Code which I use. Let's see. So live server, right? So this is live server. You can install that. We'll see how this works in a moment. Then there is another thing called ESLint, right? All these are installed, you can go and install it. And the third one I'm talking about is Prettier Code Formatter. So this is this one, and next boilerplate. Oh, didn't get it. Yeah, this one. So yeah, we'll see how to use them too going forward. The last thing which will require for JavaScript development is a web browser of your choice. You can go with IE, Firefox, Chrome, whatever suits you, Safari. I prefer Chrome for development, so I'll be using Chrome throughout this course. So let's see demo. Let's go ahead and write our first JavaScript program. Yeah, so I have already created one file called tutorial.html. So here it comes, the HTML boilerplate extension that we have installed just now. All you need to do, you write HTML, then it comes, select this one, HTML5 boilerplate, and boom, you have everything you need, right? So you don't have to write doc type HTML, head, body, everything. So let's give a title to our app. We'll say JS for beginners, and we'll add our script right here. You need to add type, which will be text / JavaScript. Then you will close it. So you have to write your code within this script. All your JS, you have to write that code within the script, and that will be rendered on the HTML. So let's write one line to show you. So before that, let's see how our project is running, right? So what you're gonna do, right click on the file. If you're using VS and you have installed the live server, what you're gonna do, right click on the HTML file which you have created, and then you go with open with live server, and then you can see we have successfully opened it. Just to check, let's add something in our PRE, and we should be able to see. So I'm adding an h1 tag, right? And the moment we hit save, we won't refresh it. So we hit save. Let's add some more. We hit save, and it's automatically gonna refresh. So you see, we didn't need to refresh it into it. So that's gonna make our life easier when we are working on HTML JavaScript things. So it's gonna refresh every time by itself. So let's move on to the JavaScript part. Let's add our JavaScript line. So if you don't know what alert is, it's gonna give us a pop-up every time we hit our web app. So let's write like, hi everyone. You will know what that is in a moment. You might have already seen it in a lot of the websites. You see, so we can see like our JavaScript is working perfectly fine. Now going forward, I don't like this way of writing JavaScript. So what usually I do, I keep a separate file for JavaScript. So what we are gonna do, we're gonna remove this line, we're gonna remove the type. So we're gonna create one more JS file which I have already created, right, .js, and we're gonna use this file on our HTML. So instead of writing type is equals to text JavaScript, we'll add source, which is going to be our file name, right? And we have moved the line what we have saved over there here, and we can see it's perfectly working fine, right? We'll give one more refresh to see if it's working, and it's working fine. So we see we have moved this. So now we have moved our JavaScript into a separate file, and going further we'll use this file only to learn our JavaScript, to make any changes in our JavaScript, and we'll keep just HTML part in this HTML file. So yeah, that's it for this one.